What's up, y'all? It's been a minute since I have actually done a video from my computer, so I don't know how the fuck it's gonna sound. Might get some background noise or some shit like that. I don't know. But anyway, I got a notification of this a couple days ago, but I've been extremely busy, so whatever. I'm getting to it now. But anyway, uh, the thing that kind of irked me about this is that the premise of what is being said in this tiny little paragraph down here. Fears of homophobic backlash sparked as Korean media focus on gay club COVID-19 case. I don't see how them being gay has anything to do with COVID-19 cases. I don't get how that has to do with homophobic backlash. Uh, Korean media reports on a new cluster of cases linked to an infected man who visited gay clubs in Seoul have prompted fears of a homophobic backlash against local LGBTQ communities, including the possible forced outing of gay people. Why would someone force gay people? Why? That makes no sense to me. The clubs were open. This infected man visited clubs that should have been closed. I don't see how that's the fault of gay people. I don't see why anyone would actually go and attack gay people or anyone of the LGBTQ. Fuck it, letter gang. I don't see why anyone would go after the fucking letter gang in any shape or form for that. I mean, like, if anything, it seems like what I'm reading here is trying to shift blame off of the fact that they didn't shut down their fucking clubs. Clubs have as literally a clusterfuck of people. That's a club. A clusterfuck of people in close proximity, drinking, breathing all in each other's faces and shit, getting drunk off their asses, they're grinding, they're groping, and all the other shit like that. And if you drink too much, you might end up throwing up around someone. So, yeah, it's a club, and they're open during a pandemic. Are you surprised that someone got sick? Just saying. This continuing discrimination and undermining could lead to significant harm and hinder our quarantine efforts going forward. It seems like your quarantine efforts weren't really doing shit if you had clubs that were open. I'm just saying. South Korean public health officials recently warned amid growing concerns of prejudice. I don't. I feel like this little article or whatever you want to call it, this little thing, basically just throwing shit out there, basically saying, "Oh, COVID cases popped up and blah blah blah." Here's the thing, though: people being gay or part of the letter gang has nothing to do with the cases in general. The cases popped up because someone had a bright idea to have clubs open. That's why the cases started popping up. It doesn't matter. This guy could have, even if this guy went to clubs that weren't gay clubs, the club shouldn't have been open. The fault is on the person who decided to leave the clubs opened. That's why the cases are popping up, because the clubs are open. You feel me? The clubs are open. And they're talking about quarantine efforts. Well, I think a main thing for a quarantine effort is to literally close your clubs. Don't have them open. Any business that has people crowding in for long periods of time for the purpose of what? Just having fun and getting drunk. Yeah, those places need to be, shut down until the pandemic blows over. But they weren't. They were open. So, I mean, like, I don't see how that has anything to do with these people being gay or part of the letter gang in general. It doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, boop. Goes over to this article here. It says Seoul officials order all bars and nightclubs closed after as many as 40 new COVID-19 cases were linked to them. Yeah. They ordered bars and nightclubs to be closed after the cases sprung up. The fuck? We've been having this pandemic going on for a hot minute now, and you're just now doing it because new cases pops up. The fuck? It says bars and nightclubs in Seoul, South Korea, the nation's capital city, were ordered closed indefinitely Saturday after COVID-19 outbreak was linked to them. The New York Times reported. Seoul Mayor Park, I'm gonna just say Park because I might butcher the rest of your name, said as many as 40 new cases could be traced to nightclubs in the city, though another official cited 27 cases. On Wednesday, a man diagnosed with COVID-19 said he had visited 3 nightclubs in that area. Residents earlier this week had been encouraged to begin returning to their daily lives as schools, concert venues, and libraries prepared to open within coming weeks. No! Are you... The concert venues? The libraries? The fuck? If you don't close them bitches down? Now, schooling is actually kind of important, though. But again, you have a bunch of people crowded. You got the children crowded up together and shit like that. So, yeah, it's probably best to keep the schools, closed until this whole thing blows over. It's probably best for that. But people need their education. But anyway, the city of Seoul, South Korea, on Saturday ordered all bars and nightclubs in the city shut down definitely just 3 days after people in the city were told to begin a new daily life with COVID-19. A new daily life? What the fuck does that mean? A new daily life with COVID-19. What does that mean? What does that mean? Are you saying, does that mean, okay, yes, COVID-19 is just spreading, and it's a possibility you can be infected, but nah, let's just open everything up. You can go and party and drink and do whatever the fuck you want to, just know that you're possibly at risk of COVID-19. Is that what you're saying? Like, is that what that is? According to a report from the New York Times, I barely trust them, the closure comes after a 29-year-old man tested positive for COVID-19 on Wednesday after he visited 3 nightclubs in the I'm not gonna try area in the city last weekend. As of Saturday, officials said they were tracking down more than 7,000 people who had visited 5 nightclubs in the region, according to the report. So 7,000 people visited these nightclubs. 5 nightclubs. Really? We really didn't need to shut down nightclubs. You guys really just thought, it's fine. Pandemic, fuck it. Nightclubs are open. Go out, party, drink with a bunch of different fucking people who you don't know is sick or not. Let's just do that shit, huh? Let's do that. Okay. Just because of a few people's carelessness, all our efforts so far can go to waste. The old Mayor Park said at a press conference Saturday. Bro, are you serious? Are you serious? Are you really going to try to blame someone else? Really? These clubs should not have been open. These clubs should not have been open, period. So we're going to just shift the blame on someone else who's being careless. Yes, they are to blame too. I am not even going to lie. But you're not going to just sit here and talk like you're not at fault also. These clubs should not have been opened. They should not have been open. They should have been closed. Therefore, no one can be at risk of being infected. But they were open. The fault of these cases springing up is the fault of the people who decided it was okay for clubs to be open. These nightclubs, these bars, the bright idea to have these places still be open, it's your fault. Because if these places were closed, the person who was infected wouldn't have had a place to go to. He probably would have went somewhere else. Although that motherfucker should have stayed his ass in the house if he was feeling under the weather. So that's his fault too, but it's also the club's fault for having the idea of, during a pandemic, it's okay to have our clubs open. And also for the person who just said, there's clubs open? Shouldn't we shut those down? Nah, fuck it. Let people have fun. Let them do what they do. We're not gonna shut them down. Let's keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. Don't be trying to shift blame and try to act like you're not partly to blame. According to the Times, the mayor said at least 40 infections had been linked to nightclubs through Quan. That's about as far as I'm going to go. A senior disease control official said Saturday that just 27 reported cases had been linked to the venues. Park said 40 cases included the 27 in Seoul, 12 in... What is that? I'm not even going to try. Province. And that thing. And 1 in Busan. I can pronounce that. According to the Korea Herald, South Korea has so far achieved a great deal of success in mitigating the virus without completely shutting down its economy. Well, that's good. Due in part to its rigorous testing and contact tracing strategies. Isn't like Korea like heavily surveillanced? Like heavily? But as the Times noted Saturday, the question now is whether South Korea can make a further shift toward normalcy while negating its success in flattening the curve. Well, you probably should have started with closing your fucking clubs and keeping them closed and never opening them again. I mean, like, could have started there, since, those aren't necessarily needed. Under a policy that went into place on Wednesday, South Korean citizens were encouraged to get back to their lives as much as possible, ahead of a planned reopening of schools, museums, libraries, stadiums, and concert venues within the coming weeks, according to the report. Let me read it again. Under a policy that went into place on Wednesday, South Korean citizens were encouraged to get back to their lives. So, Mr. Mayor, who tried to say because a few careless people, are you telling me y'all encourage them to go ahead and continue with their daily lives as much as possible at that, ahead of a planned reopening of schools, museums, libraries, stadiums, and concert venues within coming weeks, according to the report? So I don't see bars and nightclubs included in this. So does that mean the schools, museums, libraries, and stadiums, and concert venues were all closed, but the bars and nightclubs were open? And no one can tell me any differently because I've been on Facebook recently, and fucking Next Shark, who reports on everything Asian, Asian people, I for some reason keep getting notifications on every article they ever posted. I keep seeing their shit. Yeah, they got nightclubs open still. So yeah, so everything else was closed, but bars and nightclubs were open. And then you sit there and try to say, on Wednesday, they encouraged people to go back to their daily lives as much as possible. It's like, these are very bad decisions. Very bad decisions here. But as the Associated Press reported Friday, the nightclub outbreak. Wait, hold on, wait. They said Wednesday. Hold on. After you encourage people to go, didn't it just say that on Wednesday is when they got the report? On Wednesday, a man diagnosed with COVID-19 said he had visited 3 nightclubs. So he was So on the very day you told people to go out and return to their daily lives is when this motherfucker ends up spreading COVID-19 around. He should have been... What? What? Okay. Jesus. But yeah, it's because of his carelessness, huh? Okay. But as the Associated Press reported Friday, the nightclub outbreak could force a delay in the reopening of in-person instruction in schools, officials said, which was slated to begin next week. According to the report, nightclubs and similar venues nationwide were advised but not ordered to close. So you advised them to close. You didn't order them to close. You advised them to close. You should have said, no, you need to close the fuck down. Your literal business can increase the rate of infection because, a shit ton of people are going there, crowded up together, bunched up in other people's faces, which, quite honestly, is not a good thing during a pandemic. You should have ordered them to close, not advised them to close. But yeah, it's someone else's carelessness, huh? Okay. You know what? Whatever. Look, this whole thing just tells me that it's as Business Insider reported earlier Saturday, reports of the new infections have left Korea's letter gang population worried about discrimination after the local media has reportedly sensationalized details about the outbreak having occurred in that place, which is known as the gay district of Seoul. Really? Hey, that's some more interesting information. But quite honestly, y'all really shouldn't be worried about that because, quite honestly, I don't blame any person involved with the letter gang in any shape or form. I don't care if it is a gay district of Seoul. I don't give a fuck. The fault lies really on the people who decided to let these clubs stay open. Saying we advise you to close but didn't order them to close, guess what? People care about money. So they are going to leave their business open if you do not order them to close. That is extremely careless. You should have just ordered them to fucking close. And now you have more cases showing up. Matter of fact, the cases most definitely started springing up when you found out, when you encouraged people on the same day that the guy was diagnosed with COVID-19. Is on Wednesday, on the very same day, you encourage people to go back to their daily lives as much as possible. And the guy is tested on the very same day. And he's been to multiple clubs and bars. And it's like, come on. Come on. Really? But yet the mayor had the audacity to sit there and say because of few people's carelessness. Bro, it seems like you and your people advising them to close and not telling them to close indefinitely. Yeah, it seems like you were the one who was being careless. And the club owners, the bar owners who thought it was a good idea during a pandemic to leave their shit open. Yeah, bad idea. Very fucking bad idea. I know you want money. I know you want to still work. I know you have employees who need money and have lives to fund and, maintain and stuff, and they need money to do so. I understand that. But this is a pandemic. You need to stop. You shut it down, close it down. I this is, and I just, the fact that the letter gang is actually getting worried, because honestly, the local media, like it says right here, the local media had reportedly sensationalized details about the outbreak having occurred, and apparently that Juan, I'm gonna just say Juan, in that area. I probably should have said that, but anyway, in that area, yeah. Like I just literally just showed you the fucking Twitter notification, and how it was basically framing it, that it was like it was like basically the fault of fucking like one dude's affected man, but it was he was going to gay clubs and shit like that. So it's like, okay, so what if he was going to gay clubs? So what if he was going to gay clubs, bars, whatever? That information, does the gay part does not even matter. The real factor here is that the people who decided to, like, apparently they weren't ordered to close, they were just advised to close. That is extremely careless. They decided to leave their bars and nightclubs open. That is extremely careless. Those two people, within those said categories of people, they're the ones at fault. The letter gang ain't got shit to do with this. They ain't got shit to do with this. It's not their fault. Especially if they were literally encouraged to go back to their daily lives. That, like, seriously, come on now. How is that their fault? How is it their fault? Their quarantine efforts, like as it was in that Twitter post where it showed their so-called quarantine efforts, apparently their shit is extremely laxed. I'm talking about extremely. But is whatever. This is some bit of a bit of a news here from that, and mixed with my own little opinions here and there. But yeah, I'm done.